What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Last Laugh podcast. We are finally goddamn back after a few weeks of me being in fight camp and coming away victorious. This is my victory blunt on my podcast. It's my channel. Go fuck yourselves. Anyway, we're here after a few weeks off with a great card. We're gonna review. It's been cool. I'm sorry I've been away, but when you're fighting, you really have to kind of put all of your attention on that rather than doing all these extra things. I have a baby coming. I have this. I have that, and I put all of that to the side just so I could get the win. So now that the dub has been secured, me and Ant are back to give you more mixed martial arts, anime, and nerdy madness. All types of shit we're gonna be covering. A lot of content we've discussed over the last few weeks. Even the last couple of days have been cool. So we got a lot of new stuff and ideas coming your way, including Clint's Conspiracy Corner, which will be hopefully in the next episode. You guys will see a little clip of our friend Clint and his conspiracy theories. But today we are going over UFC 291, the main card specifically, and one of, if not the biggest boxing matchup in the last 10 years, I'd even say, besides Maypac.
Probably.
And Earl Spence. Ant, how you doing? Been a while.
Good. I mean, it hasn't really been a while for me and you, but yeah, it's been a while.
For us, but on camera.
Yeah, I'm good.
Starting a new job.
Yeah, starting a new job in a week and a half. Thank God.
All of my friends work in the same warehouse, and I don't. I live 2,000, 2 hours away, and all my friends just got together and decided, hey man, let's be better friends and fucking work together. And fuck Jay. We're not gonna invite him to do it.
If you were closer and it was beneficial for you, I mean, could probably.
Dude, money is beneficial for me, baby. You know what I mean? Money is beneficial for
that
me.
drive, though. That drive.
That's true. You're right. I would kill myself on that drive. Part of my vernacular. Well, it's good to be back with you, buddy. Here I am in my nerd dungeon. You might hear a little whirring in the background, ladies and gentlemen, because it is 92 degrees, and what I could call the weather outside is sticky.
It is.
This is the best way that I could put it.
Meanwhile, you're sweating. I'm over here with this little blanket on.
Yeah, you got a blanket on, dude.
The air conditioning is so crazy cold in here.
So
it's so cold that I'm just like,
dude.
Fuck.
Dude, my office is a box, is a glass box. If you can't see the black, but behind me, obviously there's a glass, but it's all that. So it's just all the heat is magnified into this little room. So by the end of this, it's like I did like a mid session. But every time we record, I got sweat down my back. But anyway, we're gonna jump right into it today. We have UFC 291. What a card! What a really just in general this weekend, a weekend to be a fight fan.
Yeah,
good. We are spoiled this weekend because some of these cards. Not to say that some of the cards haven't been great, but or like sleepers. But this on paper, is a banger of a card, even just off of the main event. You know what I mean? Never mind the rest of the matchups we're going to go over, which we're going to go through, and then we'll go on to the sport of boxing, which is a beautiful thing. What's happening with Earl Spence and Bud Crawford, even just without breaking down the matchup, just having these two men fight each other is actually so important.
Into the ring and fight each other. Finally.
So important, even just for the sport of boxing. For these two, because they're definitely the top of the cream of the crop, and it's been a cultural thing that people like that don't fight each other for years now. So it's really cool to see that. Jumping right. Boxing politics, it was run by the mob, still run by the mob. You know what I mean? It's probably the most crooked.
I was just saying, if y'all MMA fans think that it's bad in MMA and the refs
not, dude, you got nothing on boxing. The Vegas box, dude, it is. It's like all the movie stuff. That stuff's real. It's so much like
definitely some validity to it for sure.
Anyway, but first we're gonna go into MMA, our alma mater. We're gonna go over our sport first before we get into the sweet science. Should we start at the bottom of the card, or should we start at the top of the card?
We can start wherever. We can. I mean, if you want to start from the bottom, you want to start with the.
Let's start from the bottom. What's the first matchup? I don't know if it was. It's not Wonder Boy.
We'll touch on a little prelim fight real quick, just because it is kind of a bigger name on the prelim. We got Derek Lewis coming back fighting Marcos de Lima.
Marcos de Lima. Pardon me. Now we went over de Lima's last fight, right? And I said
so.
We did, because I remember this, because he's been in the UFC as a heavyweight for over 10 years now, almost a decade. And I said that there's merit to that. And he had been fighting, I don't know who he fought last, but it was a prospect, an up-and-coming prospect. While the kid didn't do bad, he still got, you could just tell that the veteran stabby kind of.
Yeah, and I mean, he's fought like some names, you know what I mean? He's fought some guys. He hasn't fought really up in that top 5, top 10-ish, but he fought Ben Rothwell, fought Andre Arlovsky, fought
Ben Rothwell was on a tear once.
You know, fought OSP, Nikita Krylov. You know, he's fought some like real solid heavyweights. So, and I mean, gotten some good wins over him. And then of course Derek Lewis kind of needs no introduction. We all know Derek Lewis.
Black Beast, baby.
Most of us, I believe, love Derek Lewis.
He needs a win here.
Yeah, he does.
What is he? What's his record in his last 4? Like 1-3?
Yeah, 1-3.
He's
lost his last 3.
Now he's a Black Beast. Is he going to lose his job? No. But if you ever want to be considered one of the best heavyweights in the world again, you can't lose 4 in a row. You can't go 1-4 in your last 5.
He's always said that he's kind of in it for the money. He had that one push at the title.
Aren't we all though? But remember, this isn't a game of. It's not like boxing, which we'll talk about later. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like boxing, because you don't have to be the number. You don't have to have. You're not getting
1.3 to be the third fight of the night.
Thank you. You know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying? You're not getting 1-3-1-5 to be on the undercard.
We're fighting for the Intercontinental Championship of the world.
You know what I mean? For the hardcore.
That's belt. What it seems like. Some of those boxing belts seem like you're.
They're fucking. It's fucking ridiculous. But you know what, dude? I think that MMA should adopt not that far as weight divisions go, but like, if people aren't going to be like, I should fight at featherweight. It's going to be hard for me because there are people that are weight bullies. If there was a way for me to fight at 140, easy bread. You know what I mean? There'd be a lot more matchups that way. You know, like, I'm not saying there should be 40, 42, 47, 49. It's fucking ridiculous.
It would thin out like 45 and 35 a bit, but you're still always going to have weight bullies, because, you know, like, you would
always.
Someone that's like, fuck, I can't make 35, but I can definitely make 40.
But if there are matchups to be made, right, elsewhere, yes, you'll always have outliers. But if I can get more matchups and not have to cut weight and still have good fights, I'd do that all day.
I kind of more like the idea of like rehydration limits and shit like that. Like, if you're gaining,
you can't weigh this much before.
Yeah, if you gain back this much, nope.
They were going in that direction, weren't they, for a while? Like, even when I fought in Bellator a while back,
I think
right,
one
how hydrated are you prior to the cut? And if you were too far out, they wouldn't let you fight.
Yeah, I think one does it or something similar.
Like, the UFC does it, but I don't like. I was always within range of weight.
But I mean,
when they checked me,
did they really do it?
They checked
someone who's fighting on this card. Talk about a guy in Alex Pereira who's, when he got into fucking fight Izzy, looked like he was like 230, like 220. You know what I mean? Like, that's 30 fucking pounds at least that he probably gained back in a day and a half.
You have to remember, though, that takes a lot to do.
Yeah, but that's...
You know what I mean? There are weight bullies, but weight bullies also take the gamble that weight cut isn't going to be difficult. It guarantee you past a certain amount of pounds that you cut, there's no fucking way that it doesn't affect you somehow. Now, if you have good cardio and it makes your cardio a little worse, but your cardio holds up, then you might not feel it. But it still definitely affects you. So, like, it might not, which I'll give you an example. I cut to 35. I felt stronger and faster at 45 recently. Mm-hmm. Right? I might have been a little undersized, but I hit harder.
You felt better.
35, I just felt better. And so, like, my legs didn't feel heavy. You know, you give up certain things when you cut a certain amount of weight. And, like, it's also, you know, it's mentally very taxing as well. So, like, yes, while weight,
I haven't gone through it, but I've seen it.
It is like a gamble to do. You know what I mean? Like, Khabib, how many times he missed weight?
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying? So, like, yeah,
I've seen you pretty fucking worse for wear, dude.
You know what I mean?
Early on in your career.
Bro, my Raul fight was terrible, dude. I honestly thought I was gonna die. You know what I mean? Like when if I remember looking at myself in my Snapchat camera,
Mhm.
oh God, it was terrible. You know what I mean? I woke up underweight for the last one, and I fought a guy who was significantly naturally bigger than I am, and so like, and I still muscled him around. You know, so like I don't know. I just think if we had more of an opportunity for people to have to cut less weight, 5 pounds even, you know, like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I just think that the whole cutting weight thing, you know, there's definite examples of people that are fighting at their natural weights now and are performing better.
Yeah.
Even against said weight bullies. So like I feel like it's an archaic thing that we're doing now. And like maybe don't like copy and paste what boxing does, but like
try to integrate
something
similar.
like entertain the fact that maybe we're gonna get better fights and more matchups with fighters between 45 and 55. How many motherfuckers would you like to see Max fight somebody at 55 and it 40. Not be crazy?
I mean, hey, you know they love champ fights, so that would add more champ fights.
It just makes more sense, dude. Like
they love double champs, triple champs.
Triple champs, you know what I mean? But I mean, without going into boxing and having fucking 15 belts for the same weight class and calling it light, super
but it's like you have a 35, a 40, and a 45
you know,
belt.
It's like,
it's not outrageous to think that like someone could go for all three of those.
55 to 70 makes no fucking sense.
No,
55 to 65, that doesn't make sense. 85 to 205 doesn't make sense. Why are we doing that? Why is it in our cruiserweight division? You get what I'm saying? Like that shit. Like I don't know. It's just like the weight system for MMA just confuses me in like a lot of ways, and I just feel like again it's old and we're holding on to a system that we created 30 years ago, and I get it, but like I don't know. That's just my opinion on that. I feel like the healthier why are we requiring our fighters to, you know what I mean, to only like to have the idea that the only way I can have a competitive advantage is to put myself as close to death as I can before I get in there. It just doesn't, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense, you know? And that's just how I feel about that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just because I want to move to featherweight permanently and I want all these motherfuckers to leave. Go up. Go up 55. Fuck out of here. But anyway, addressing that, what was it? Who were we talking about? Derek Lewis. I don't know. I think that Derek might be in trouble here because his opponent is very well rounded. You know what I mean? Like it's not that Derek can't put anybody out with the boom and he hasn't had some impressive performances, obviously. I don't know, man. That's just tough. I'm gonna go with the 10-year plus veteran every time for me. So as much as I love Derek Lewis,
Derek Lewis is he's kind of like a close.
What's the odds on that?
I mean, Derek Lewis is a 10-year vet too, damn near.
He's got the most knockouts too, doesn't he?
Yeah. What's the line on this? Let's see. It's looking like it's pretty much a pick'em fight.
Most of these fights are pick'ems. Yeah, pretty sure. Dustin is like a plus 150 to a minus 145.
Derek Lewis is like a ever so slight underdog, but other than that,
it's you know, I mean, this is a terrible gambling card. Terrible for gamblers, bro. Honestly, I gotta let you know if you're betting, it's pick'ems all the way down the main card, bro.
I love Derek Lewis, but I gotta go with DeLima as well. I think Derek's just kind of.
You are what your last fight was in this sport, and
his last
and
pretty,
according to both
tough.
of these, do you know what I mean? According to these gentlemen, I'm just more on the DeLima side here for Derek. You know what I mean? That one.
I would be happy as fuck if Derek came out and just fucking blasted this.
Starched him, love it. But I'm gonna go with the skill set here. All right, moving on. Who's up next?
Michael Chiesa and Kevin Holland.
Ooh, this is an interesting one, to be completely honest with you. Chiesa does a pretty good job with his lateral movement when he actually is on his bike. It depends on what version of him shows up. You know what I mean? I feel like Michael Chiesa is one of those people that's really, as great a guy as he is, he's my friend. When he performs, I don't know. When he's on, he's on. When he's not, he's fucking not. You know what I mean? Just not. Kevin Holland's had a good resurgence. He knocked the fuck out of Yaquan Buckley. That was woo. That was crazy. He dusted that man. That was a crazy knockout, to be honest. Poor Buckley. No wonder he's going to 170.
No, he didn't fight Buckley.
Thought he did.
No, he knocked out Ponzi.
Was it Ponzi the last one?
Yeah.
He definitely fought Yaquan Buckley.
Way
back. I'm thinking way back then I'm stupid. But no, there was I thought Ponzinibbio was longer ago than it was.
No, Ponzi.
He knocked him cold
and
flat,
I love
sideways.
I love Ponzi too, and he's just.
I actually picked Ponz in that fight. If I'm honest, I'm pretty sure if we go back, we reviewed that.
Since he got injured, man, he's had a tough fucking go, which was crazy.
You talking about Ponz?
Yeah, Ponzi.
Yeah, he's just lost the step. It seems like, you know what I mean. The intensity's not there like it was.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, the injuries caught up to him. But yeah, I mean,
it happens to the best of us, dude. You know.
I like Kevin Holland in this fight. I'll be honest.
For what reasons? I think he's got great distance management. To be honest, if Chiesa gets him down, though.
I mean, if Chiesa gets him down, I don't know if
the thing is that he's tall and lanky, just like Holland is. They're the same size. Two tall people fighting is an interesting thing. It's like when two giraffes do it. You know what I mean? They're just fucking whipping their necks at each other. They're just so ready. It just means that trips are still in play for him. You know what I mean? Because when you're a shorter guy, you can't really trip a longer-legged person. It's hard. You know what I mean? At least in my experience, it's harder for me to hit trips on people that have long limbs than it is people with short limbs. Don't know why. And I think that them being the same size opens up Chiesa for his body lock work that he works a lot. He's very good on his body lock off the cage. He can use trips to get Holland down. Holland's a black belt, but you know what I mean? There's levels to that as well. I think on the feet, Chiesa shouldn't play around too long. Not that he can't strike, but Holland's distance management is gnarly. You know, like he's really good with his straight 1-2s, like just straight down the middles. I don't know who's going to win that. I would lean towards Holland, but he's really flat-footed.
He's really like inconsistent too, but I mean
they both are.
I feel like this is more just like more of like a gut feeling one. I think Holland takes this.
What round? Let's do Ant's prediction.
That I mean, I honestly, I'll be correct. I think he can put Chiesa out. I don't know. I'm not gonna say a round. I think he could put him out in the second or the third round. But that's assuming that
you just said you're not gonna say a round, and then you said 3 rounds.
Yeah, I guess
you said all of the rounds after that. There's only 3 rounds. It's gonna be the second or the first or the third.
No, so I think he can do it in the second or third. I don't think he comes out and just starches it.
No, I don't think he's gonna walk. I don't think any person on this card is gonna walk through the other.
But
I don't either. This one's really the least exciting for me, if I'm honest, of all of the matchups on the main card.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mostly because they're tall and I'm jealous.
Okay.
That's really it. You know what I mean? Like that Napoleon. Is it Napoleon? That short man syndrome.
So you feel that way with like 90% of the population?
Bro, I'm statistically average height, so I don't know what the fuck.
You're statistically like 5'7", bro.
That's not a statistic. That's a fact, and statistically,
statistically,
5'7"
that's
like
pretty
5'9"
short. I should know
average height
I'm
of
short
an adult male.
And I'm only slightly taller,
male, at least. So,
I don't know.
You know, whatever. I'm not short, just average. These tall ass people.
I'm not short. Everybody else is just tall.
Exactly. You know,
gotcha.
Because the creator knew that if I was like 5'10", it'd be too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I was 6 feet tall,
you'd be too much individual.
God, Jesus Christ. I'd be the Dos Equis guy.
Nice, dude. Nice. I like that poll. That's a good poll.
Moving on. Next one. Okay, so is it Pereira and Jan?
No, it's Tony Ferguson and Bobby Green.
Okay. Interesting. Bobby Green. I'm just going to say this. That was not an elbow. I don't give a shit. I don't care, dude. You know what? I don't give a fuck what you say. I have taken Muay Thai for a long time. I wish I knew how to pull up the replay in the slow-mo and put it on the screen right now. I'm going to figure that out eventually. But no, dude. You're not going to tell me that you didn't straight up launch your fucking bald head at Jared Gordon's nose because he was clipping you, man. That's crazy. And then there's Tony Ferguson, who's on a 5-fight losing skid. I think I asked this question.
This is the weirdest fight on the card.
I don't know why this is why. Yeah, I don't know why.
This is the strangest fight. You got Tony Ferguson coming off of 5
losses. He's not going to retire,
and you got Bobby Green coming off of fucking steroids. What are we doing here?
I forgot that happened.
Yeah, that happened at the end. That PDs. What are we gonna go?
When did that happen?
Probably like Thanksgiving time last year. He went on Rogan's.
I thought it was just he popped for like a weed or some shit.
No, he went on Rogan's podcast and was talking shit about people doing PDs, and he got popped like 2 weeks later, bro.
Lit. That's usually how it works. When you start wagging your finger at people while you're doing the same shit.
I'm not even. It's about 17 letters long, and it ends in rosterone. So
it ends in an own, in a roan.
Ends in osterone. So yeah, it was.
That's it.
It was something.
When you
I don't know what that is.
When it lands in osterone,
but it is, yeah.
Lock it down. That's for sure. That's the one.
Yeah. So.
I didn't know that.
Is this his first?
Well, Bobby Green is a special individual who has a very short-term memory of his own. You know what, dude? I really don't understand how this fight has come to fruition. At what point is it irresponsible
to let Tony Ferguson fight?
Continue? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I get it. He's a legend.
Tough, dude.
But like, I'm
the same way we felt about BJ, bro.
Bro, you took the worst right out of my mouth. BJ Penn is the perfect example of somebody like bro,
one of my idols fight, bro.
And now you see BJ even now saying, "I'm still the greatest lightweight ever." It's like, bro, that could have been an argument if you didn't stay for 10 fights too long. You know what I mean? Like you were like 18 and like 5 at one point, and now you're like 18 and 50. 20. You know what I mean? And like
20 or some shit.
You know what I mean? You have some crazy 500 record, and it's because you stayed too long. And like going to one of the main event guys, dude, Justin Gaethje leveled up on your fucking face. You know what I mean? Like that was the start of that. That's how all of this started. Was that Justin Gaethje ass whooping that he took. And, like, it was sad to watch. Like, even when I think about that fight, like, as much as impressed as I was for Justin, I felt sad. Like, I'm like, I looked at people, I'm like, please stop this. This is clearly over. You know what I mean? And he's taken 4 more fights of abuse since then. It's not like he hasn't been finished either. He's been getting dogged out. Yeah. And like at a certain point, bro, the guy does like somersaults and shit to warm up. Yeah, CT is already a certainty. It's already settled in.
Oh, easy.
You know what I mean? Bro. Easy bread.
He's
already had a list. No, dude, it's not even just that. Like, I don't know if you've paid attention to any of the reports that have come out about like what he's doing in his personal life sometimes, but it's just sad. And like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a fighter too, and I'm like, dude, I don't want that to happen to me. Like, I don't want people to. I don't know. If I work for a company and I give,
thank God you haven't taken that much fucking damage, dude.
He's taking that so like the company would be like, bro, it's been 6 in a row, dude. Like
he was a weirdo on the Ultimate Fighter, though. He's always kind of been a little bit of a strange, unhinged guy. Very different.
It just gets worse with time, dude. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. Ever since that Spencer Fisher shit came out, remember Spencer Fisher? Spencer Fisher was a lightweight around the time of BJ Penn. He's kind of like Darren Elkins is now. He was basically just a guy that would go in there and he would put on a war every time. And he's like 42, and he's got such bad brain damage, and like it's in so much debt. And you know what I mean? And like it's sad when you look it up. And I just think of Tony, and I'm like, that is gonna be him. There's no way that there's not. And it's just like at a certain point, a commissioner is responsible to be like, yo, no, we're not gonna let this happen anymore. No, we can't let this happen anymore.
I mean, they should.
You know, but they should. Again, I'm not saying that they do. They won't. I mean, Jay Ellis has over 100 losses. Jay Ellis has over 100 losses.
Dude, Jay Ellis maybe has taken less damage than fucking Tony Ferguson even then. Because you got to think about it. Jay Ellis, yeah, he just gets rear naked choke. He just gives up. He'll bang with you for like 30 seconds and then be like, all right, here's
30 seconds.
All respect. Great guy, nice guy. Always had good fucking
nice guy
with him personal.
He's quite literally made a career of fighting in his own way. But I don't know.
Daniel Strauss, bro.
I think as long as Bobby. But back to the technical fight at hand, I'm obviously going Bobby Green here, even with his headbutt flying ass. You'd be steroid using motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
all of that aside,
I'm going Bobby. I think he's gonna beat the absolute tar out of Tony. Tony could ankle pick him into a knee bar or some shit like that, but I doubt it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go Bobby on that one. No ifs, ands, or buts. Think he's gonna box him up. Do I think he finishes him? No. I think he goes off 15.
I mean, shit, bro. The way Tony's looked, it wouldn't fucking surprise me. I would not be sure.
I'm gonna give Tony the benefit of the doubt that he's just gonna get. If it is, it's not because Tony goes down. It's because the ref shows mercy. Hopefully, Jason Herzog's in there. Jason Herzog is the best ref in the game right now. He's been the low key dark horse, and now that I said that, he's gonna suck. He's gonna blow a call. Jason Herzog is the best ref in the UFC game right now.
They're all, most of them are pretty fucking solid. They all, hey man, people make mistakes. Some of them are, I guess, a little better than others, but
I'm not shitting on any of them.
I
could compliment somebody without disparaging the rest of them.
But I was like trying to think of who's still like really like reffing a lot. I'm trying to think of like a really bad ref, like a one. I'm just, can you think of like a bad
tall lady?
Oh, Skeletor? I don't think she's still in
I think her name is Kim.
I don't know her name. We just call her.
I don't know what that lady's name is. I have no idea, dude. I like Mike Beltran because he tucks his giant Viking mustache into his shirt, and you can see it.
Yeah,
they look like suspenders when he gives you his rules meeting.
Nice guy, Bobby
though.
Green.
Dude,
Bobby Green
by
domination.
By domination. You know who the nicest guy in the world is? For real though, that translator guy. I forget his name.
Oh,
the guy who's always just so happy to be there. I told him that. I met him. I'm like, bro, I gotta let you know. Whenever we see you. And me and my friends said, I'm like, there's nobody that loves his job more than this guy right here. He's so happy for everybody or so disappointed when they live. It's amazing. You know what I mean? He was like, I took a picture. I have a picture with my phone. I'm keeping it forever. I'm
actually jealous of that, dude. That
guy's a man. I love that guy. Whenever I see
someone needs a translator, I'm like, ooh, if it's a Brazilian.
Can I hire him?
Yeah, my guy.
Teach me Portuguese, guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. So next, moving on. Obviously, Bobby Green by bludgeoning. So that's our prediction. I don't know how big of a favorite is Bobby in that?
Minus 355. So
that's actually
pretty decent favorite.
I mean, decent, but I thought I was going to say he'd come over as like a minus 500. I'm honest.
They're giving Tony's name a little love. It looks like, but
well,
yeah.
Next
we got Wonder Boy and Michelle Pereira.
The return of Wonder Bread. Wonder Boy. How old is Wonder Boy now? That's Wonder Man.
40.
He's 40. It's been a long time, dude. Like, it's been a really long time since we've seen Stephen Thompson in there. And like, people could say that layoffs don't matter, but they do. You know what I mean? Like 3 years on the shelf is a lot. And he's got like Michelle is a tough opponent for him because he's wild, he's very unpredictable, and like he's powerful. You know what I mean? Like he can hit you with either hand, really, and generate power from very, very little distance. And he doesn't have like a rhythm that you can prepare for. Do you get what I'm saying? Like there's no like, I don't know. He's very herky jerky. He incorporates a lot of like even capoeira in some of his strikes.
He's fun as fun to watch.
He's fun. He's fun as hell. I love to watch him. I'm just saying, from a technical standpoint, Wonder Bread is going to have. I keep calling him that. Wonder Boy is going to have a tough time timing this guy, and you know what I mean, because of how his sideward stance. He's really got that kind of like half karate style with his kickboxing, obviously, and it's about going in and out. But Michelle doesn't do that. You know what I mean? Like he'll do a somersault and do like a Tomb Raider roll to the right, and then do a tornado kick into an Eddie Gordo move, and then
I think
do a swanton bomb.
I think
on
Wonder
you
Boy is really good at processing that and being able to like capitalize on some of that dumb shit as a striker, and as up a pinpoint striker as Wonder Boy can be. If he tries some of this weird slick shit like that, you know, he's watched plenty of film. It's not like there's no film out on Michel Pineda, but I mean, I do get what you're saying. He is very strange.
It's difficult to time him. I'm not saying he's untimable. He's unbeatable. I'm saying that I guess from just conversations that I've had with other fighters, it's like going from fighting other professionals to fighting someone off the street, or someone that's like a white belt or a beginner at striking. Because they're unpredictable, it's hard for you to get their rhythm, because there is no rhythm. If there's no rhythm, it's harder to catch timing. Do you know what I mean? It's all about kind of like faith in your own foot placement and a bunch of other shit. But just from that experience, when things are chaotic, it favors the chaos for people that are more accurate and pinpoint, like you're describing. So I think it's a hard fight. I guess it's a roundabout way of saying it's a hard fight for Wonder Boy to come back to after having a 3-year layoff. And
he fought last year.
He fought last year? But those 3 years he hadn't fought.
Fought Kevin Holland last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
That was a lot longer ago. Well, then never mind. A year layoff, then 3 years. Wow. I thought that was like
your timing's off today.
It really is. But bro, I don't know, dude. I'm in the bubble.
Four score.
7 years. I am. I'm everywhere today. But okay, so a year ago, even still a year layoff at 40 is still tough. You know what I mean? That's as you get older, you should be probably a little bit more active than that. Where are you going with this? I don't know how I feel here.
I don't know, honestly. It's like I guess I'd give the slight ever so
I'm going
slight.
Michelle. I'm going Michel Pineda.
I'm going Michelle.
I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, up the
he's
strength.
Big, he's strong. He's unpredictable, and if he hits him with anything he's not gonna see, he's gonna put you out. And if he gets on top of you, good luck. Do you know what I mean? If Wonder Boy had proven to be a better scrambler, then I would be more inclined to believe he could get. I don't think that's the case. I really don't.
No.
And unless he's been really devoting his time to his sub game or the latter that I just spoke of.
Probably.
I just don't. And at a certain point, dude. Here's the thing. At a certain point, dude, like when people are like, "How are you going to prepare for him?" I'm like, dude. If I can't find his last fight, I'm like, dude, this guy's had like 20 fights. It's once you hit a certain amount of fights, you fight how you fight. That's how you fight. You know what I mean? That's your thing. You might improve little parts of how you fight, but nothing's gonna change. You know what I mean? You're gonna stick.
It sounded like Charles Barkley right there. Not gonna change.
Not gonna change. You know what I mean? It's not gonna change. That kidding? That is just terrible. But it's the truth. You know what I mean? My last opponent, that was his 30th fight or 36, something like that. And I didn't need to. I watched one like 5-round fight and I went, okay, I get it. That's how he fights. This is it every time. You know what I mean? And it's so to your point. I don't think that Wonder Boy just devoted his life to the ground. And maybe he should. But when you're 40, you're like, yeah, I'm on the other side of it. I'm gonna keep doing. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And it works for him. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm gonna go Michelle. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Michelle.
I feel like I'm betraying America.
I'm hoping they just stand and bang. That's what
I'm sure it will, but I feel like Wonder Boy is gonna, if he's good at his distance management, he's gonna be able to like point fight his way and kind of keep like side kicks and shit like that. You know what I mean? Keep it charging Michelle away from him. If that's the game they play, then that's Wonder Boy all day. That's gonna be just a point karate fight. GG's. You know what I mean? He'll work his way to a 30-27. But I hope that's not the case. But I'm going to go Michelle there, and I'm going to go. You know what? I don't think it goes all three. I'll say it'll end in the second. I'm not sure how.
Okay, interesting.
My prediction. Moving on. Go.
Co-main event. Jan Blachowicz.
Jan
Blachowicz and
versus Alex Pereira. Portan.
Yeah.
Jan Blachowicz is in a very, very unique position as he is now going to fight the second middleweight champion to try and come up to 205 and try and stop that train before it leaves the station, as they say. The question is how does this translate? Because it's rumored that Alex walks around at like 220, 225. So like,
yeah, Alex, the pictures and like the little clips I've been seeing him leading up, he looked
big,
good,
dude.
He's a big boy. That's what I said earlier. Like he probably came in at like fucking 220 against Izzy, so he might come into this fight.
But I don't think
230 pounds.
No way, no. I don't think that's the case. I think he'll still come in at 220, but he'll feel better having drained himself. It's like. Again, I have to compare it to my experience because it's the only one I've got. I weighed in at 44, and I was in the cage at 160. Do you know what I mean? If I was at 135, I would have been in the cage at that same kind of weight, but the effects of the cut would have been different towards the rehydration. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if he kills himself to make 85, and he didn't have to do that, well, that healthy 220 is different than that unhealthy 220. That he got back up to because his body was malnourished. That's the difference between him and Izzy right now, is that this is probably where Alex should be to begin with. He only went to 85 out of a spite grudge match that he is clearly winning. And again, going back to it, 3-1 is not settled. Just want to throw that out there. 3-1 in a best of 5, you've lost. You know what I mean? So if we're in the World Series, you're
even if you won the last one of the like you still.
That's not how that worked, baby. You know what I mean? That's just, like I just want to.
That's what Izzy's saying, but like
I'm just throwing that out. That was weak shit. Like I'm so sorry, dude. You can't get knocked out cold twice by the same guy, and then you deed again by the same guy in 2 separate sports. Right, and then do it once back to him and go, yeah, that shit's over, and be like, and everybody was just like, yeah.
You at least need to fight one more time to get the 2-1. Yeah, well, yeah, because then you'd have 2-1 in MMA, so you'd have something over him.
There you go, and then you can say I've beaten you at this game. That's fine.
Yeah, sure, me in kickboxing. I had to in MMA.
And then if Alex had won that one, he could be like, yo, give me my ring, because. Yeah. I just beat you in the NBA Finals. You know what I mean? That's it. 4 game blouses. Anyway, onward to the matchup with Jan. Does the power translate? Obviously, I would imagine for Pereira, it does. What about for Jan? Obviously, do you think that he stands with him, or does he try and take him down immediately? We don't know how.
I don't know. I mean, I would imagine he would probably try to do something similar to what he did with Izzy. And just fucking grind him out and lay on him, wear on him, chip him out. Don't really let him get into a groove on his feet.
I don't think he should stand in front of him.
But you gotta understand, Izzy came. What did he weigh in at? 194 for that 205 fight or some shit like that. Like 196. That's what Izzy weighed in at.
And no one's taking Alex down at 85. because he's so big. His hips hit you, it's over. You know, very hard to get him down, and he's very strong. He's one of those.
He's probably a lot harder to get down than Izzy and keep down, but I don't know.
I think if you get him down, it's easier to keep him down, but getting him there is the first hurdle. Do you know what I mean? When somebody's not used to being on their back in a fight, in the training room is one thing. When you're actually so used to just stuffing everybody, when you're finally put on your back, that is a different game. You know what I mean? Now you're like, oh, well, I'm in trouble. Now, could he produce power from there? I'm sure he could. And I'm wondering, does Jan stick? Because he stood with Izzy a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
In that fight. He even hurt Izzy, I think, a little bit. I think once.
He's still got legendary Polish power.
That Polish power. So the question remains, Jan's not a mover and shaker, if I may. He's not a footman. He doesn't move around. So, like, does he shoot right away? Does he engage the giant? You know what I mean?
I don't think he shoots right.
Is Alex going to be bigger than Jan in there is the question. And if that's the case,
I mean, I think he's taller.
For sure taller. I know that. I mean, like, broader. You know what I mean?
Might be. It might be.
That is a fight of two powerful men. And if Jan can do this, then he's now effectively killed every middleweight to try and make a career at 205 or a run at 205. And Jan, people don't realize what Jan did when Izzy came up to 205 is eliminated any possibility that Izzy would ever have smoke for John Jones at 205. Immediately. It's over. It's over.
Although I did really want to see that.
I would have loved to have watched it, but after watching John do that to him, I'm not going to lie to you, dude. John would have made Izzy hold his pocket. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been. I wanted that because I wanted people to just never just doubt the greatness of as shitty of a person as he might be at times. John Jones is the GOAT, and Mike Tyson
I'm not hearing. Yeah, I'm not hearing any other debate.
That man would have taken your soul out of your body with his knuckles. You know what I mean?
John Jones.
Floyd Mayweather's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? As far as like his personal choices, does that make him not probably the greatest defensive boxer of all time, if not like top 3 best period fighters of all time? No, it does not. It means that he's a monster. That's what it means. John Jones has done a lot of questionable shit. Not questionable shit. Downright not Christian stuff. You know what I mean? Not very becoming for a man of God, I would say.
No, sir.
But does that take away from the fact that he is collectively absolutely the GOAT? You know what? I'm going to scratch that. You got caught for steroids more than one time, my man. I'm sorry. And
I still don't care. In all honesty,
come on,
I still don't
dude.
care. Barry Bonds is the GOAT too, bro. What of it?
That's the stupidest thing you've ever said.
No,
that's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
No, it's not. You can check.
Ken Griffey Jr. was a better hitter than than Barry Bonds would ever be. He didn't even need the sauce.
He had a better swing. Ken Griffey had the prettiest swing probably of all time. Barry Bonds is a better hitter. He was.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's not.
I'm not doing this with you.
He was on steroids.
That's crazy.
So it was like everybody else.
He was like $125, and then he became 220 with a high pitched voice in like 2 years.
Barry Bonds was on steroids, but I'm saying he still was the GOAT.
He was on all of them. Him and Mark McGuire's guy got together and made a super steroid.
Mark McGuire, one of the best hitters ever, but he did a bunch of steroids. I don't care.
All of them. He did all this. You know what? Honestly, baseball and steroids, I don't give a shit about that. I really don't care. But in fighting, steroids matters. It's much different, and it's very tough to compare Barry Bonds.
I mean, yes,
who
it
hits
is
a
different.
ball really far, to
but
John Jones, who alters
we can't prove
neural pathways with elbows.
We can't go back and be like, go back in time and be like, John Jones, don't take those steroids, so we can see how this works and if you would have lost or not. I still don't think it would have mattered. I'll be completely fucking honest.
It doesn't matter if it doesn't. That's not the point. I mean,
I still think he's a GOAT.
Cheated. So so why does TJ get more shit than John does?
I mean, I don't know if he does get.
They both cheated. They both cheated.
John
so why does John get a pass and TJ doesn't?
I don't think John gets a pass. Not from the people.
He's
People
crucified.
shit on
TJ gets crucified every time he's mentioned. John doesn't.
People just hate TJ,
over.
bro. That's people like to hate on TJ. People like to hate on John Jones. There are people that there are fighters that people just like to hate on.
I'm just saying that if
and he finally did something that people can.
If we're held, we should just have a uniform policy about, hey, you cheated.
When Anderson Silva got popped for fucking steroids,
I at the beginning of this argument, I said that Anderson Silva can't be the GOAT either because of the same reason. Mighty Mouse is the GOAT. That's the facts.
Mighty Mouse is definitely right up there too, but John Jones is
no steroids.
I mean, hey, that's your opinion, and that's absolutely.
Who cares, brother? Who cares?
Who cares?
Today, Smash.
No.
Speaking of Smash, how do you think and this is completely unrelated, Paulo Costa and Hamzat are going to fight?
Yeah.
One, do you think they're actually going to fight?
Not until they fucking weigh in.
I need to see them walking to the cage for me to really believe.
I want to see them weigh. I mean, if they weigh in, I think it's going to happen. But.
Two, do you think Hamzat can beat him?
I mean, I guess it's possible. Do I see that? I don't know. It's a big boy.
It's a big old boy. And Gilbert made you fall on your face.
Boy, yeah.
Like, do you understand that when he fell, that should have been called like that? Because when you're unconscious, when you fall, right, your body is designed to it's just a reflex for you to put your hands out to brace. If you don't brace yourself when you're about to fall on your face, you're fucking in the shadow realm, dude. You are gone somewhere.
Brace for impact.
If you land flat on your face. That's crazy. And Gilbert certainly hit him with the three-headed blue eyes white dragon and sent him exactly to that place. And I think that let's see, I'm always waiting for Paulo from the Romero fight to show up. That's who I want to show up.
I just watched that fight the other day. That shit was
so good, dude. Oh.
And then Izzy took his fucking soul.
I did that questionable emote at the end there. You know?
Yep. But yeah, back to Jan and Alex. Who you got?
Jan and Alex. Anyway, we've digressed a little bit too far. God, my heart says Jan, but my head for sure says Alex. I'm going to go with Alex. I'm going to go with the champ. I believe in Jan, but I really do think that Alex is going to be able to stop a takedown on this one really well. And that's going to be really good. And if it becomes a kickboxing match, that shit's over.
Fair. I'm going to go with Jan.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a pick'em, like I said, guys. If you ever watch this, if you do watch it at all, to be completely honest with you, these are all pick'ems, and from a gambler's perspective, this card sucks.
Yeah,
you know,
none of this is gambling advice.
It's really not.
I am, yeah, I'm going Jan. I haven't obviously watched every single one of Alex's fights, but I've watched it. Nobody's really tried to take him down. I've never really seen him even nobody's attempted to take him down. Not really by any means of maybe in the Izzy fight, Izzy maybe tried to get a couple trips in the clinch, but
I think he tried to get a trip or two.
I'm
pretty sure someone shot at him and just got hit like a brick wall, if I'm honest.
In terms of him getting shot on and being able to stop takedowns at a pace that I think Jan can put on him in that sense. I just haven't seen it, and I know that Jan can put people on their ass in multiple different ways, and I don't know, something in my guts telling me that Jan's gonna kind of dictate that, in terms of he's just gonna try to get him down, grind him out, wear him out if he can't find any sort of success on the feet, which is going to be difficult against someone like Alex. But he was having some success against a guy like Izzy on the feet. Not that it was, a giant success, but he was landing some good shots, landing some good shit, setting up takedowns, getting Izzy to the ground. Again, Alex is a bigger guy, but Jan's been able to do that with guys in his own weight class. So I don't think that, I think he's going to feel right at home, someone Alex's size.
Fair. That's a good assessment of that. That's a good one.
I'm going Jan.
I'm going to keep, that's a good pick. I'm still going to keep Pereira just because I like going with the natural weight class.
Yeah, I mean, he can obviously light up Jan on the fucking feet.
I just think if it becomes yes.
It could happen early. He could just push right up to Jan and crowd him, and Jan might not know how to react to that. But I think as the fight starts, once he gets past the first round, I think Jan can start to like cruise if he finds that he has any sort of success with any takedowns that he might try in the first round. If he needs to go to that sort of to just get him down, grind him out. Slow him down a little bit.
Kind of heavy, so that there's less pop on him as he moves forward. I get where you're throwing, and that seems like the logical game plan against someone like the kickboxer like that. Good picks. But now we have two more fights to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the ones we all really want to talk about. Moving on to the main event, obviously,
Dusty.
It's Dustin versus Justin. Which I always find is funny.
The Ustins.
These two, honestly, if I'm honest, every time I think about these two, they're really two sides of the same coin. Both incredibly violent. Their last meeting, obviously, Dustin took it in a banger in which he just kind of took over in the third round. It's late second, early third just started to open up. And that was a TKO, I believe. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a burner. It was a barn burner. Since then, both almost have an identical path, back to each other, if that makes sense. They both only really lost to Charles Oliveira in their last few outings, and Habib. Those are the only two people that have beaten them in their last, and I think it's like 7 or 8 outings.
Yeah.
And everything they have multiple finishes. The one thing that is interesting about this fight is Gaethje's evolution as a more patient and tactful fighter. In his last fight, he was the highlight. He was still the highlight, that chaotic type guy who was just kind of a whirlwind, almost like a Tasmanian devil type guy. But when you started to see him, especially going back to the Tony Ferguson fight, he was much more measured. Everything that he landed was still a bomb, but it landed with purpose. He knew it. Like him and Trevor Whitman have been obviously a great pair with each other, and obviously they have Usman and things like that. And I don't think that Dustin has any intention of taking him down. The problem is that he could take. Dustin is really good at being technical in chaotic moments, and Justin lacked that ability to discern those things. Like he just kind of throws caution to the wind. I feel like Gaethje has grown as a fighter. He's channeled that crazy amount of violent aggression into every punch and purpose as he moves, instead of, the fucking 20-0 guy that was like, I got like 5 more fights left until I die. I think we're going to see a different Justin Gaethje. That's I guess my point is that I think that Justin Gaethje is much more polished. That's what I'm getting at in this one. So I think it might not be I think it's going to be a boxing match for sure. Yeah. And I still think that favors Dusty, just with his reach and his range. But Justin has quite literally like stone. What do they call them? Cylinders on his hands. Just smash. Every single punch feels like it breaks your orbital bone. It looks like, and so like. I don't know. I think it's still going to be a banger, but I'm not sure. I think the gap is closer than it seems as it was last
time. I mean, there wasn't really a big. I don't think there was really a big gap last time.
Justin gassed. Dusty really too. If you really watch it again, like, and I encourage you to, Dusty they really put it on him in the end of the second, just because of the pace they were putting up. But if Justin is more measured in his, you know what I mean? He say he hurts Dusty, and instead of the old Justin would just kind of charge and hope for the best and throw flying knees and fucking eat him with a rolling thunder kick. You know what I mean? Like, what? That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So if he were to hurt Dusty, the more measured approach would be he'll find the finish, and I just think that speaks more to his finishing ability. I think it's more controlled aggression now, and for somebody that hunts finishes and heads like Justin does, I don't know. I think that's very, very important. And his leg kicks, he's gonna have to use those fucking things this time. He got away from him too much, but Justin Gaethje has some of the hardest leg kicks in MMA. Period, bar none. Like it's absolutely astounding, to be honest. Go ahead. I have to put the light on real quick. There's a hurricane. There's apparently a hurricane about to happen above my house.
Shit. Nice. Yeah, I hear them birds going crazy out there. Yeah, I just think Dusty puts it on him again, if I'm quite honest.
There we go. All right. Pardon me.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I think Dusty beats him again.
Same way, same round, kind of same thing.
I don't know if it's going to be the same round necessarily. I don't even know if he finishes him, to be quite honest. But I don't see anywhere that I think, other than those leg kicks that you're just speaking about that Justin has, I don't see anywhere where he's better than Dustin.
Got it.
Like I think Dusty's a little bit more.
He's for sure a better wrestler than Dustin. That's
everywhere around, a little more. I mean,
for sure.
I would say just. I don't know if it's an ability necessarily, but I mean Justin's ability to just kind of or mindset to just kind of take a couple to land one, I think is a little more glaring than
that Lafayette lunatic.
Yeah, like Dusty doesn't really necessarily go in like that. Like Justin will take a fucking whooping to try to go in there and land a couple. So, I mean, it'll be a banger. I would not be shocked by any means if Justin won or if Justin knocked Dusty.
Yeah, it's a toss up. I'm still gonna go with Dusty.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dusty.
I've been riding with Dustin since WEC days, so it's really, really hard for me to root against him or pick against him. And he's like the underdog that everybody. That story, you know what I mean? He just kind of represents that. I really love that guy.
You kind of can't really hate on either guy.
You can't. I love Justin too. You know what I mean? It's just the narrative is different for both men. You know what I mean? And the character, or just who they are, is displayed differently. Or you know, I just appreciate, I guess, Dustin's character a little bit more than not Justin. I don't know Justin very much. You know what I mean? Gotcha. But Dusty kind of puts himself out there, so it's easier to relate to that guy. But anyway, I'm gonna go with Dustin in that. I think if it's a finish, it's gonna be late. Fourth round, fifth round. But it's gonna be a barn burner for sure. Both guys have been out for a good while, so they've had a good rest, and I think they both had good camps, so they look pretty good on the scale today. Or they'll look pretty good on the scale. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dusty. But that's crazy. That's a really, really good card, to be honest with you, up and down, just even from the bottom to the top of it. Even the Tony Ferguson one, as weird as it is, that's a good fight. It'll be entertaining, I guess. That's it for UFC 291. We're not done quite yet. We have one more fight to discuss, and we're gonna spend a good amount of time on it. But really, really good card. This is a card that I think is worth buying. So I know that a lot of people are like, is this worth buying? This one for sure is. If you do watch and you're like, hey, if you've watched 59 minutes and 20 seconds of us talking, here's me telling you, buy UFC 291. Definitely worth it. If you don't have ESPN Plus, buy it, join the racket, and then also buy the pay-per-view, because that's how that works. Moving on. This fight that we're about to talk about, and we're going to end it here after this, and hopefully we don't digress too long, is very important, not just because it's a good fight. You know what I mean? It's a great fight, because the one that people have been asking about for years and years at this point, probably even years too late at a certain point. But it's just good for the sport of boxing because two megastars, I would say. These are two of the top boxers in the world. in their respective weight classes are actually fighting each other. And like the culture of fighting or this boxing has changed from the days of old where the best fighters would fight the best fighters. And if you had 1, 2, 3 losses, that really didn't define your career. In fact, no one really gave a shit because everybody fights 50, 60 times. You know what I mean? So like you have to fight. Even Mike Tyson, I think, lost like 5 or 6. So like, you know, Muhammad Ali got knocked out a bunch. You know what I mean? Like 2 or 3 times. You know, so I don't know when that started. I think Floyd Mayweather did it, to be honest, because of the 50-0 thing. People have just, if you have a 0, you're not willing to challenge yourself to give it up. And Earl Spence is coming in at 28. I know.
Let's see.
28, 29, you know?
Pull it up.
Pull that up.
Pull that shit up, man.
Pull it up, young Jamie. Wow, you're slow. You're slow as shit, young Jamie.
Yeah.
28, no?
What in the fuck is going on?
Oh my god. I'm gonna go with that. 28, no. He's undefeated. The point that I'm trying to make. 28, no. 28, no. With, I believe, over 25 knockouts. It's very impressive. Earl Spence putting that 0 that is so coveted in the sport of boxing today up against the one, the only Bud Crawford. And I am a big Bud Crawford fan.
Yeah.
I love Bud Crawford.
I love Bud.
Earl Spence is still a damn good. He's a dog. Let's put that first and foremost. This is definitely a power puncher versus an accumulation puncher. And well, it is. Well, I guess we'll go over because Bud's very complex, you know, depending on his stance. I think that this stems from it because obviously they had been in talks for a while, but the whole, you know, you see Tank and then you see Ryan Garcia, and you know, however you feel about those two individually, it doesn't matter. They were 2 very young prospects that didn't have to fight each other, who actually fought and gave up, you know what I mean, some of that prestige. Ryan Garcia took a huge risk, lost, you know what I mean, lost a lot of credibility, but he took that risk. He got whooped. But he at least, you can give him the credit that he at least took the leap to do that. You know what I mean? At least he did it. You know what I mean? So, and he did what so many of these stars refuse to do. You know what I mean? Not counting Canelo, except for he should fight Bivol again. But I think that this is really good for that because boxing is dying. Like, if I'm honest, it's very, very hard. Like, you know, like other than the small weight classes, like Manny's gone, Floyd's gone. All the greats.
It's just like star power is gone. Really.
It's just gone. You know what I mean? Like, there's no. You don't want to buy a boxing pay-per-view. This one you do. The fact that Jake Paul can do what he's doing right now is a reflection of the state of boxing itself. It's and the fact that and I'm not trying to like. I feel like more boxers should be like, this is fucking horseshit, is what this is, and should start these types of matchups should have, because YouTube boxing's making more views than y'all, and it's because you guys are holding that shit up, and I don't know, you're killing your own sport, man. You know, Jake Paul should not be relevant. He shouldn't be considered a boxer. That shouldn't be a thing, and that's because no real like. I don't know, other than like I think Alicia Baumgardner, who is a dog herself, was one of the only people to speak out and be like, "This is a fucking sham," and everybody should be ashamed of themselves for putting this on. You know what I mean? Like, it's a circus. But I guess I'm just excited because obviously I've grown up around boxing my whole life. I've been in my boxing gym from the time I was 6 years old. And you just don't like. It's like this is the new. It's not really the new one, but it's like the new Manny Pacquiao and Floyd, in my opinion. This fight currently is it's not like 10 years too late, but it's too.
I mean, it is.
You know
it is a
it's
little
late.
too late.
It's
like, I mean, it's a couple years too late.
But I'm not going to complain. Beggars can't be choosers. At least it's happening. I'm glad that at least it's happening.
I mean, I'm sure. I think Errol's accident kind of delayed it a bit too.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. You know what I mean? It wasn't like people wanting to show up for blood tests and shit like that.
Yeah.
But at least, anyway, let's go into the matchup itself. Two very good styles here. Earl Spence, a southpaw, coming in. Crawford, a switch stance fighter, and then we're going to get into that a little bit more. Why that's very important as to why he fights. We'll just get into it. That's very important for him in this matchup. Spence is what I like to call a pocket bully. If he sits in the pocket right in front of you, his short body work on the outside or under the rib cage is actually magnificent. He's very good with his long jab as you back away. If you notice, he tracks you with his jab, super long, travels distance over it as he cuts his angles, and then he'll come to the body as he comes back up. Flat-footed, obviously a power puncher. Doesn't move his head very much. I'm not going to lie to you. He does stand right in front of you, dips. A lot of level changes, but not a lot of head movement, if I'm honest. Really likes the hooks, and he likes to lead his combinations, especially when his opponents shell up. He likes to hit the uppercut with the southpaw left hand and then come over the top with the lead hook. Really likes that. Comes right back down. Slow. He's slow, in my opinion. That's just me.
Yeah. Just
hand speed wise. I don't think that he's, at least according comparatively to his opponent, he gives up speed for power. You know what I mean? And it's not like his cardio is bad. It's not like he gasses because he's gone over 10 before.
Bud's a lot snappier with his punches too.
Yep. Bud's a speed. He's got the speed advantage. First note that I had. He's an accumulation puncher, and what I mean that is that Crawford is a chess player. You know what I mean? It seems that Earl kind of gets into the pocket and things seem to be instinctive. He moves very, very fluidly. Like he's been there before. He's practiced over and over and over. It's an influence. It's like a body thing. He knows what to do. Crawford is a chess player and a boxer not that Earl's not, but he's a different kind of boxer because he's playing chess. If you notice, he touches, then he changes. He's very much touch, rip a body shot, touch, changes rhythm, and he's downloading information as he's attacking you. In his lefty stance, in his orthodox stance, that's more the case. Great right hand, straight right hand is crazy. Rear uppercut comes when he turns into a lefty. This is when that gets interesting because his right hand is still his dominant hand. He has crazy short hook work with his right hand. So when his right goes from rear to front, it's still deadly, and he can hit him with an accumulation of anything.
He's got a couple of knockouts with that right hand from that southpaw stand.
He's very good at going rib cage, coming back up to the ear, and then jabbing. Very, very good with his right hand from both stances. And the thing about lefties is, natural lefties, is that they don't see lefties a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So when they have somebody that maybe isn't naturally lefty, that they has seen a lot of tape of them switching, it fucks with their timing because lefties don't know how to work against same stance people because there's so few of them. So when you start switching your stances mid-combination, like Bud likes to do, especially as people try to escape, he does it to corner them. Right? It's going to be real. Watch that right hand as he does. Because I'm seeing hooks as Earl starts to dip, two punches, and then he dips. And if you watch the tape, that's what he does. The thing about Earl is he's really timeable as he goes up and down. If you look, and correct me if I've ever seen it, he goes touch, then he goes down, and then he comes up, and then he goes down, and he goes, and that's just patterns. And someone like Terrence going into back to what I said earlier about him downloading information, he'll throw away round 1 and 2 to watch that. He'll be fine. He'll burn a round or two to watch and then time him as he dips because he likes to dip his head towards his rear side. And if he's lefty, that's just a short uppercut away from a clean strike. I just think that there's a lot of ways for this to win. If Earl does corner him though, that's bad.
Yeah,
Bud can't do that. Crawford can't. He's better in opens. He's better when he's doing the cornering. If he gets cornered against a power puncher like that, it's going to be real tough. That's going to be because his body work is something to be impressive. Yeah. I am hyping up Crawford, but Earl hits you fucking good with those short hooks, both sides. He's fast about it, and they hit. Like, you can hear the leather touch your lip, your rib. Any thoughts?
I mean, I'm pretty much right with you on everything. Yeah. Like, I think Bud, just the way that he's able to like switch the stances, he has that good right hand in the southpaw stance. The way that he cuts angles and also switches stances while still trying or successfully getting combos off in both stances while pressuring. I don't know if Errol can really push him back while he's able to switch stances like that, and he's gonna, I think, not keep Errol confused, but keep him kind of off enough to just be able to definitely point him out, if not put him out in the later rounds.
But he has to keep it in an open space.
He has to keep it. He has to just stay away. The rope. Yeah, he has to just stay away from the ropes, which I think. I think the switching of stances. I think Bud also does have good body work himself. I think his movement is good enough, and the way that he is able to switch stances and like cut those angles to move, is just gonna be enough to keep him out of those situations where he would be pressed up against the ropes too much. I mean, he might be there at certain times. It's a 12-round fight, but I don't think it's gonna be
12 rounds. It is 12. Yeah. Remember those times of old at 15 round fights?
Yes, 15, 17 round fights, like fucking back in like the fucking 30s and shit.
Brother. With a 45-minute fight, my man.
With like little baby gloves on, like them boys.
100 rounds by the docks. Fucking gangs in New York style.
Yeah. And also, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, it wasn't that recent. It's been, about 3 years since that accident now, but he's only fought like, I think twice since the accident, 3 years ago. I mean, one of which.
How many times has Bud fought since in that 3 year span as well?
Let's see.
2, 3? Same. I would say the same round.
2, 3, 4 fights in that time.
That's one more.
All knockouts.
That's something.
And I mean, he's been.
Well, that's different.
He's been Bud's been active. He's really never taken his foot off the gas in terms of fighting. He's always had one fight at least in a calendar year.
Well, that's good enough, I suppose.
So like.
One fight a calendar year for a boxer is not a lot of fights.
Well, I'm saying at least one, because there's 1 year where he only had one in a calendar year.
Fair enough.
And maybe it was just like an injury or something, or just scheduling purposes. But I mean, other than that, he's had like 2 or 3 fights a year, most years since like fucking he started boxing, basically. I mean, he's 39-0, Bud. So, yeah, I definitely got Bud winning this fight.
Do you think he goes all 12? Do you think he goes to decision? Do we get a knockout? Let's spice it up. Let's spice it up. Don't just say he's going to win. Tell me how you think he's going to win. What do you think is the deciding factor of the fight?
I think it'll go all 12.
Really? Oh, God, I got a strong feeling someone goes down in the 8th, and I don't know what it is. I don't know who. I'm usually
that's great. In the 8th, huh? That's
in the 8th. I called Tank. I called Tank to the round. I said the round that he knocked him out.
That's like the only fight in recent memory that's like a super high profile fight where I thought like pretty much that Ryan Garcia was going to go down early.
Smashed.
Like, I don't generally think that people are going to go out before like 10, 11, or 12. Like, those are those. I mean, I guess you could maybe potentially call those quote unquote the championship
you know what? Did
rounds.
I say 8? You know what then? Because they're not really going to turn it up until 9, 10, 11.
I mean, those last 3 rounds is generally where I think a stoppage is going to come in a more like more evenly real high level.
The rounds like that matter are rounds 7 through 10. Those are the rounds that you need. You need those rounds.
I mean, yeah.
Them. So like, all right, I'll change my answer. I don't think it goes all 12, but I do think it goes 10. I'll say 10. Someone goes down. I don't know.
I think it'll go all 12. Fair.
If it goes to a decision, I'm going to
some
go
reason
Bud.
I
If
just
it's
I
a
have
body shot knockout, it'll be Earl Spence.
Yeah, I have a feeling it'll go all 12.
Either way, great fight for
I have a feeling a unanimous decision. I don't think it'll be a split. I don't think it'll. Then again,
I think it's gonna be like a routing, huh? Like he's won like
then again, like I was just thinking, like, well,
that would kind of suck, wouldn't it?
If I think Bud won 8 rounds, some other stupid ass judge might think that he won. That
would kind of suck, though, right?
Because I'm gonna be honest, I thought Lomachenko beat Devin Haney.
Oh, Loma won. Loma won that fight.
I thought Loma
won that.
I thought Loma cruised.
I thought Loma was. I don't know.
Maybe I'm fucking stupid. Maybe I watched the wrong fight. Maybe I know the stats.
Dude, you watched the same fight I did.
The stats kind of didn't lean in Loma's favor, but like round by round, I'm like, Loma won that round. I'm like
100%, dude. 100%, dude.
So like
it was bad. That was a bad decision. That was a bad decision, dude.
There's a lot of weird
Devin shouldn't be happy with that fucking win.
I don't know.
Nobody should be satisfied with that win.
I think it'll be a unanimous decision for Bud. I think Bud wins. And I think it's
like 8, 9 rounds to like 3. Yeah. Like a routing.
Yeah.
A UD is quite the claim. That means that kind of sucks though, doesn't it? You kind of want the, like if one guy is just head and shoulders above everybody else, that's. But again, blows.
That's how I thought the fight and the Loma Haney fight went. But that was a good fight.
I guess, yeah.
That was a good fight. It was a great fight. But I thought it was like the complete opposite, basically, of all the judges that were there, because apparently they're blind.
The whole world
one of the
thought
two.
The same thing.
And you know what? I didn't see any money in my pocket from any sort of fucking commissions.
It's fucking horseshit. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I definitely see Bud kind of taking off,
cruising his way through. I think he picks it up in the.
I just think he's got more tools. I think he's got more tools in the shed.
Earl's got to hurt him early.
But which I don't see. I like.
Either way,
I can't even remember the last time I saw like Bud even be really hurt at all.
No, neither. I can't recall.
Like Earl's at least had a couple of tough scraps, tough outings. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, dude. There's no like new batch of boxers. Feel me? Like outside of this. I don't really like Loma and Danny and like Devin like
Shakur
matching themselves. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's one.
Yeah, that's the only one I can really think of.
We need the promoters to you know what I mean? Do their thing and start raising up because like Bud and Earl aren't going to be around forever. They can't be the big stars. Tank, okay, you've got Tank. I'll give you that. If Ryan Garcia doesn't lead Golden Boy, then maybe. But I just feel like outside of these 5,
even Canelo's getting older.
Canelo's like almost 40. And by the way, Canelo, we get it, dude. Like, you don't have to fight 195-pound people. Like, we get it. You're awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you want to test yourself, my guy. Bro.
You won all of the middleweight titles. All of them. Like, all of those stupid titles we talked about at the beginning of this podcast. You went for all of the middleweight ones, and you were like, yeah, it's just one now, and it's called Canelo. It's called Cinnamon. The Cinnamon title. That's what it's called. And you don't need to go be fighting people because Bivol put it on you, doggy. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be. Don't do that BJ Penn shit. You know what I mean? No one to stop. No one to be done. You've made how many? You're a Mexican god.
Yeah, he's back down. He's back down to fight middle. He ain't fighting no light heavy.
Like 60. Like you should be fighting at 165. You know what I mean? That's stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. But I'm glad. But I just want boxing to flourish still because it is great to watch. Like when you have like real good technical fights. You're looking at it. You have stars.
These are the matchups you want to watch in boxing.
Because boxing was built off of, I'm the best. I want to beat the best. And beating a bunch of cans I know I can beat isn't it. And people could talk. People are like
obviously building a prospect up because, it's
different. But if you're 28 fights into your career, and I'm not going at Earl Spence, it's just the name the number I came up with. If you're 28 fights into your career, all right, brother. You know what I mean? You're just fighting cans. You know what I mean? You fight 500 people the whole time. You got to bump up eventually. You got to do something to take a risk. Because I remember when, not in the old days, fighters fight, but like I get it's about money and shit like that. But like, how are you gonna look at yourself in the mirror at night and go, yeah, I definitely did duck all of this. I don't know. It's just crazy. I think that the sport would be thriving if people were just hungrier to prove that they're better than the other instead of all the rat race that's involved with boxing, which is a whole podcast worth of information.
Yeah, boxing. The politics in boxing are crazy.
They're nutty, and I'm not. I don't have enough time or pigment in my hair to give to that.
It's a lot.
So it's just crazy, and it's corrupt, and it's crooked, and it's weird, and it's everybody's getting paid.
So deep. That's a conspiracy.
Crazy. It's a joke. It's a running joke. But you got Bud. I'm gonna also go Bud in the 10th round. Bud in the 10th.
Bud decision.
But
I'll be happy. I'll be happy as fuck if he knocks out Errol. That would be
great. I want to see a knockout. I think the world would like to see that. To be honest, it'd be nice. I'd like a nice, good back and forth, and then a knockout, much like the Dustin and Justin fight. I'd really just like that as well, kind of like their first fight, which I do anticipate that one's going to be a banger, absolute banger. That's a lock, banger lock of the week. So all of these fights are actually really good, even though some of the prelims, I don't really care about them, but watch the prelims because your favorite fighter was once a prelim fighter. There was once a guy named Francis Ngannou, and he had cornrows, and he was on the prelims, and he was terrifying us from that day forward.
Yeah,
so remember,
was the GOAT, John Jones.
John Jones was also on the prelims as well. So make sure, if you want to see tomorrow's superstars, watch the goddamn prelims. Also, make sure, I know it's tough, dude, but if you are more of a boxing head, you should be absolutely buying Earl Spence versus Bud Crawford. If you're not, then stream it somehow legally, however you can. But this is a really, really good weekend for fight fans. We're very, very spoiled. I know that I'm going to be up north with my friend Ant, actually watching this. It should be an interesting evening. They're both expensive. So sell your bodies, sell your children, but they're both worth watching. And if your friends come over, make them either chip in for food or they're buying the pay-per-view, baby. Make them pay. All right. Other than that, we've got a bunch of new content coming in. I'm trying to work with a producer, an actual producer, so it's not just me editing this stuff. So it actually look a little bit more professional, as well as we have new content coming. We have a group of us. We are called the Squirtle Squad. Don't ask. And one of our members is named Clint. And Clint is going to be coming into the podcast every so often for Clint's Conspiracy Corner. You're going to put your tinfoil hats on and hear about some of the strangest shit that our friend Rob has ever put into our group chat. So that's basically it. I'm going to monetize my relationship with my friends in the best way that I can here on this podcast and become instantly famous and take all of the credit.
Make me a nice tinfoil hat to put on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yep, and absolutely. So we're going to have a segment called Clint's Conspiracy Corner coming, so that'll be very, very fun. As well as we are planning to do more than one of these a week, certain weeks, and that will include the Anime Hour, where we will discuss all things shonen signing and nerdiness for the hour that exists. So if you're ready for the Nerd Hour from the Last Lap podcast, wait for it earlier in the week. But for more shit like this, where me and Ant just kind of riff about our cool stuff and also fights that we're excited about, wait for the other half of the week. But that's pretty much it here from me. Ant, you got anything else to say?
No, I'm just hyped for the fights. So, yeah.
That was super interesting, man. Great sign off. That was really good. Way to leave your stamp on the fucking podcast, man. You're doing a great job. Did anybody ever tell you look like Matthew McConaughey when he played that gym teacher in Dazed and Confused?
No, but I love Matthew McConaughey, so I'll take it.
It's not a compliment, but all right, we're working on it, baby. Anyway. All right, guys, that's it for me, Jay Parent, my boy Ant, dialing up in Nashua, New Hampshire. Remember, be safe, be good to everybody. It's me from the Last Lap podcast signing off. I'm out. Peace.